Hello, good evening, friends. All right, so சொல்லுச்சலாமே. Hey, friends. I hope you're able to hear me and you're able to see me. So that's amazing. Let me quickly check, some settings. Uh, okay, things are good here. Let me quickly have a check on my other screen. Perfect. So if you guys, I hope you guys can hear me. There is some tech goof up at sea. Perfect. Okay, so I think we are good to start. We can go. All right, so guys, welcome to day 15 of our Mind Mastery program. Um, my name is Prasad Ganiraj. If you have not seen me, or if you don't know about me, my name is Prasad Ganiraj. I'm a life coach. I help people in their relationship, with their career, and literally with their day-to-day life. That's what I do. So today we're going to talk about decision making, or today we're going to talk about decisions. So I want to let you know this. Our life is full of decisions. We make decisions every day, and even if you're not making a decision, I want you to know that even that is a decision. The time when you decide, or if you think like, or if you're not, there's a challenge in front of you, or there's a task in front of you, and you decided to do nothing about it, even that is a decision. Yep. So the decision to not make a decision also is a decision, right? So we are actually making decision in in every day of our life, every moment of our life, and that is either going to reward us, or that is either going to uh, destroy us. So in 1997, sorry, in 1979, I'm sorry about it. So in 1979, Steve Jobs made a, a, a deal with Xerox, right? And according to the deal, Steve Jobs will allow Xerox to buy uh, hundreds of thousands of shares from Apple for $1 million if Xerox would allow him to visit their park, Xerox Park, their R&D center. So that was the deal, right? The deal was uh, Steve Jobs would allow Xerox to buy their shares, buy Apple shares for $1 million, right? 100,000 shares for $1 million. If Xerox would allow Steve Jobs and the team to visit Xerox R&D Center, which is called Xerox Park, PARC, right? And after a lot of contemplation, Xerox agreed to it, and they allowed they they made Steve Jobs to visit their facility twice, right? And their engineer Larry, he actually took Steve Jobs on a tour, and you know what? At the end of the tour, yeah, Steve Jobs stood in front of Xerox Alto. So Xerox Alto was Xerox personal computer. Okay, and this computer, it had a mouse. It was GUI. It had a graphic user interface. It had a keyboard. And when he saw the features in that machine, you know, the Xerox technician, he was our Xerox scientist. He was able to use the word processor. He was able to use the mouse to navigate between windows and between menus, right? And when Steve Jobs saw that, he was restless, right? Because you had to understand that time, those days, computers were not GUI. There was no graphic user interface. It was only a DOS prompt. Okay, and not even there was not even a monitor at that time. Yeah, those days they did not even have a monitor. But this computer had a monitor. It had a keyboard. It had a mouse, and it was graphic, GUI, graphic user interface. The computer which we are using now, you can see everything on the monitor, right? So those days, they would just give the command, and the command gets out, executed, and the output came as a printout, and that's how they came to, and they would know whether the program was right, wrong, that's all. But this computer, this personal computer, and there was nothing called a personal computer at the time. There's no concept of a personal computer at the time, right? So Xerox made a personal computer, and they made it in early 1970 itself. They made the computer in 1970 itself, and this was 1980. 1980, they gave Steve Jobs a tour of their facility. And Steve Jobs, on seeing that, he was jumping around, he was moving around, he was restless. And you know what? He shouted. He shouted, saying, "Why aren't you doing anything with this product, guys? Why aren't you doing anything? This is the greatest thing. This is revolutionary." Yeah, Steve Jobs was shouting, when he saw the product, and he was restless. I'm telling you, by 1970, Xerox had thousands of Xerox Alto personal computer in their laboratories, and more than 500 plus Xerox Alto personal computer. Xerox gave it to several universities. So they nearly had 2,000 computers, 2,000 personal computers, right? They had for their own use, and they gave it to several education institutions, right, for testing. And they were testing and testing and testing for a decade. For a decade, they were testing on the product, a revolutionary product, and they were testing on it for a decade. And when Steve Jobs visited the proper facility in 1980, you know what? After he went to his office, the first thing he told his team was, "Stop everything. Let's make a mouse. Let's make a GUI monitor. Let's make computer graphic user interface, and let's make a mouse." That's the first thing he told his guys. Stop doing everything. Do this. This is this is revolutionary, guys. This is remarkable. And he made his team work on it. And you know what? Xerox only realized their mistake. Xerox did not commercialize it. Yeah, they were only using it for R&D purpose, and they were testing and testing it. They did not commercialize it, right? They realized the mistake only in 1980, after Apple released Macintosh. Only after Apple released his Macintosh personal computer, which was which had a bitmap display and had a mouse centered interface. Only after they released the saw Apple Macintosh computer, they realized they made a mistake. And you know what? Xerox actually released a computer after that. They commercialized the product. They commercialized Xerox Alto, and they introduced a product called Xerox Star after Macintosh. But you know what? That was too late. That was too late because Apple had already conquered the market. Now they were sitting on a duck which was laying golden egg. They were sitting on that a duck which was laying golden egg for a decade without doing anything, and they were working on the product to perfect it. But at last, you know what? When they decided to commercialize it, it was too late. But on the other hand, when Steve Jobs saw it, he saw opportunity and he decided to work on it immediately, keeping aside everything, anything which they were doing, and only focus on this revolutionary product, right? And that made Apple a biggest company. That earned Apple millions and millions, right? So this is what I'm telling you. No, this is what I'm telling you. You got to be you have to make decisions, right or wrong. You're not going to make perfect decisions all the time, but a perfect decision made at the wrong time is equal to a bad decision at the right time. You would rather make a decision, my friends. Now, I'll tell you what. In 1985, Steve Jobs left Apple. 1985, Steve Jobs left after Apple after losing the boardroom battle with John Scully. So John Scully was the CEO whom Steve Jobs brought from Pepsi, right? So he was the guy whom Steve Jobs brought from Pepsi to Apple because he thought he needed a marketing guy to make Apple great. Yeah, so 2 years earlier, he brought Scully to Apple. And because of Scully, yeah, the decision to bring Scully backfired Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs was out of Apple, the company which he founded in 1985. He was out of the company which he founded. Yeah. Now, 1997, Apple announced the return of Steve Jobs as the interim CEO. Yeah. So they announced that they bought Next from Steve Jobs, and they announced his return from the exile. So 1997, Steve Jobs came back to Apple. And you know what he did? Once he returned, he led the charge on Apple new OS. Yeah, so he worked on Apple new OS after he returned. Not just that, he which redefined personal computers. And he worked on the iPod. He worked on the iPod, which completely revolutionized the music industry. He worked on the iPhone, which completely revolutionized the personal technology. Yeah. So, you know what? Apple was in the verge of bankruptcy when Steve Jobs returned in 1997. But the decision Steve Jobs made, it made Apple, a company which everybody dreamed to work, a company which is inevitable. Right now, Apple was a computer company. They were making computers, but now Apple is not a computer company. Apple is now a consumer electronics company. So from a computer manufacturer, Apple has become a consumer electronics company. This decision to move according to the trend of the day, of the time, this decision to evolve, it's a different company from a computer company to a consumer electronics company, has sustained Apple. Not just sustained Apple, but it has also made Apple a great company. Not just a great company, it has also made Steve Jobs a greatest innovator. And Steve Jobs, no doubt, is the greatest innovator of all time. So my friends, making decisions are very, very, very important. So even if you're not making decisions, I'm telling you, you have decided to make a decision. So not making decision is also, is equal to making a decision. All right. So I recommend you, don't sit on your duck which is laying golden egg. Make decisions. Don't delay decisions. Take decisions on time. Now this is what I want to tell you. During the dot-com boom, yeah, the online retail store, Zappo, okay, they were struggling to stand in the crowded field. They were actually struggling. So in 1999, the founder of Zappo, he made a decision. He made a desperate decision to offer free shipping and free return. Okay, so if anybody buys the product online, they offered free shipping, and if they would return the product, he offered free return. I know what happened. This decision to do free shipping and free return, it helped the company, and they realized the competitive advantage for this company is not the price. So competing with price with the other competitors is not the advantage. They realized customer service was the competitive advantage. So the decision to go free, right, deliver free and take the return free, it gave them a competitive advantage over the competitors. Yeah, and Samsung had a problem. Yeah, its culture was a problem. Its culture was static. It was inward looking. Yeah. So in 1990s, early 1990s, the chairman of Samsung, Lee Kun Hee, yep, he made a decision. He made a decision that he wanted to reshape this organization. So you know what he did? He made uh, he made a decision to send all his bright candidates. So he sent, all his bright candidates to different parts of the world. So he sent a handful of bright young employees to faraway corners of the globe so that they will mingle with different people, different culture, learn their language, build network, so that someday Samsung would know how to supply to that market. Yeah, and that decision, my friend, that decision has helped Samsung. Today Samsung has become one of the most well-known brand in the world. Yeah, it was that decision by the chairman to send bright young people to different countries. That one decision, it has changed the fate of Samsung. Now this is what I want you to think about. Now I can go on telling you stories. I can go on telling you stories. But you know what? Whenever you see successful business or successful people, someone once has made a courageous decision. Yeah, you can. I'm betting you can look at your friends, your classmates, or your friends, or your neighbor. Yeah, if you see somebody successful or somebody doing well, right? The basic instinct is we get envious, we get angry, we are upset with ourselves, or we even are envious about them, and we you know what, we even judge, and we even think, right? Hey, this can't be. How can this guy be successful? There should be something. This guy should be manipulating. This guy should be doing something fishy. The background, right? He should be into something illegal, right? That's how the mind thinks. But I'm telling you, if you see a successful person, if you see a successful business, you have to understand something. They have made a courageous decision once. So whether it's Apple, right? So Apple was nobody, I'm telling you, in front of Xerox at that time. Yeah. But Apple, they decided to, do something which is beyond their capabilities. Yeah, which Xerox invented a decade ago. So Apple took their invention and they innovated on it and they created a product, and that product really helped build their business. And not just that, it also built the people. It also helped people. Yeah. So anybody, everybody who is successful in life or whose business is successful, they have all made a courageous decision. So my question to you, my friends, today: what is holding you back? What is your fear? What is holding you back in making decisions? Kill that fear. Overcome that fear. Now, I want to quickly give you a tip. I want to give you a tip. A 5-second rule, right? Whenever you're struggling to make a decision. See, it's always between your mind and your heart. Your mind and your it's a battle between your mind and your intuition, or your nudge, or your inner voice. Yep. So there is no confusion in your intuition. The confusion is always here, right? Now, if you have to overtake your mind. If you allow your mind to overtake, right, and the mind will hijack the decision, and the mind will not allow you to take decision. So always listen to your inner voice. Now let me give you a tip. Yeah, this you can explore more about it. This is called 5-second rule, right? So you remember the rocket launch, when they count the start down, they do the countdown before the launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, launch. The same way, I want you to follow this 5-second rule, right? Let's say you want to wake up early in the morning, okay, and you have a problem waking up in the morning. You have the alarm rings, and as soon as the alarm rings, you disconnect it and you go back to sleep. Now, next time when the alarm rings, do this exercise. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up from the bed. Yeah, try this. Or you're doing some activity, right? And you have a dilemma whether to do, whether not to do, but you should do it. And you should do it. Do this activity. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it. Right? So this will help you. This small exercise, I'm telling you, the small exercise, or giving yourself the time, yeah, giving yourself the countdown. This is called 5-second rule. You can explore about it. This is introduced by Mel Robinson. You can introduce about it. You can read about it. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and do what you want to do. Right? And if you have the habit of not waking up from bed, or not, and if you have the habit of switching off the alarm, right? When the alarm goes up and you're thinking whether to wake up or not wake up, right? In the bed, lying in the bed, do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you'll get up. Yeah. So try this activity, try this exercise. Yeah, and let me know in the comment how it worked for you. Right? So listen to this. Successful people had the courage to make the decision. Right? You can always make a wrong decision right, but there is no use of not taking a decision. Try making decisions. Life is all about making decisions. Yeah, that's the only way you can grow. It's okay if you fail making decisions. Yeah, don't stop making decisions. Even if you're doing a wrong decision, taking a wrong decision, take it, fail, learn from it, and that's how you become wise. That's how you mature, right? That's how you grow. You grow by making decisions. Yep, you fail. That's how you did, as a child. You decided to walk, and when you attempted to walk, you fell down, and you did not lie down on the ground. You stood up. You decided to stand up again, and you decided to walk. Yeah, you attempted something, you failed, but you didn't lie down there. You stood up, you walked again. Life is that. And don't be afraid of failure. Make decisions, even if you fail, that's okay, that's perfectly fine. But don't fail to make decisions, my friend. Yeah. So I'm happy meeting you. Thank you for showing up for today's session. I hope this session was helpful to you. If you find it useful, please leave a comment. How it helped you. And if you find it helpful, please like and share it to your friends. If you want your friends to know about it, please share it with them. Okay. So thank you guys once again. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.